Hello and welcome to Weak Hero, another manhwa that will make you question if the Korean scholar system is doing okay or if the country is just a giant MMA ring for prepubescent teenagers. Follow the story of Gray Yeon, aka the White Mamba, aka Angelina Anaconda, who is tired of high school violence.
I like it, cut G.
And he decides to teach these delinquents how to behave using the holy trinity of fatherly love, the belt, the chair and the brick. However, he will quickly understand that his opponent is far bigger than he could ever imagine, as he has to face what is essentially a criminal organization ruled by a vampire, who promotes teen labor. Will he be able to overcome this force with the help of his friends? Will he face off in the end against the great Donald Na? And will I spend another $5 to quench my addiction to this manhwa? Let me show you the way as I tell you my experience reading Weak Hero. The story starts with Eugene, your typical glasses goon, explaining how the hierarchy works in the Eugene High School, saying that you are either a man or a monkey. Which is pretty odd because I'm pretty sure that a chimp could easily rip off the face of any of these kids. But enough with theoretical teenage violence and let's go back to practical teenage violence. That kid is Gray Yeon, and he is new to the school. So Colton Choi, as the respectable dude that he is, decides to introduce himself. But instead of going for a handshake, he goes for a nut grab. That's right, the first scene of the manhwa is our main character being groped. Enjoy your stay in hell. Not only that, but our MC is canonically packing, making me even more uneasy. Now you might have noticed that Gray isn't the most physically imposing guy. He is quite the spooky serious skeleton, but he will send shivers down your spine, as he proceeds to remind Colton why you don't mess with Sans from Undertale. This fight catches the attention of some guys from other classes. Big Ben, the top dog of the school, who hits harder than the British Taco Bell, Alex Go, who acts like your neighbor's pitbull but is actually a good boy, and Gerard.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
This also catches the attention of Philip Kin, who took over his middle school with
A small loan of $1 million.
and plans to do it again by overthrowing Big Ben using a guy from another high school, Jimmy Bay. The first time we see Jimmy Bay, he is in what looks like to be an abandoned warehouse, making me doubt for a moment that he's in Korea and not in Ohio. I mean, look at that creature and tell me it wasn't born there. We learn that Jimmy has some past beef with Big Ben, just like we all have with the British. So he sends his minions to the underpass to bring Big Ben back. However, Ben is nowhere to be found, and to pass the time they decide to pick out a random Eugene student, but unfortunately for them, it falls on our boy Gray. Now let me officially introduce you to Helmet, to who I will from now on be referring to as the Clown, because the only thing threatening about him is his BMI. So the Clown orders Gray to come and makes an attempt at humor, getting the whole squad laughing. Gray answers by telling a joke of his own. Knock knock, who's there? Permanent brain damage. Gerard, Ben and Alex, who had been watching from a distance, join the fight, turning this ambush into a funeral. The fight ends with Gray uses a pen on the Clown as Edward Bulwer-Lytton had intended to. And proceeds to introduce him to the wall. After this resounding victory, the boys go play a game about getting balls into holes. Sorry, I mean pool. except for Gray, who goes home to listen to Zato's One Thing.
I once had some sweet memories. Each world remains all the same.
This might be a good time to mention how in the first arc you have a quota of at least one fight by episode, and more insults in each of them than in those videos of AI presidents gaming.
Bullshit, Joe, you lying fuck, you were taking a nap.
I was not taking a nap, you overripe orange.
Yes, you were, Joe. We can't play with you if you aren't ready to crush some Timmies on COD.
Joe, just drink some G Fuel and load up already. I know you use code MIST for 30% off.
Okay, fine. I'm ready to do the horizontal tango with your mother and drop a nuke.
Jimmy Bay is naturally mad about what happened, especially against the clown, who tries to justify himself, but Jimmy clearly tells him to shut the fuck up because it was a skill issue, and gives him some words of encouragement.
You should kill yourself. Now.
So the clown decides to get good by bullying kids from a cram school. But here is the thing, this isn't a circus, but a cram school, and today's lesson is on PTSD, and it is time for you to learn. Speaking of PTSD, this coke-loving goblin is Teddy Jen, the latest lackey sent by Jeff Bezos Jr. to take down Gray, and let me tell you something, this guy is an asshole. Unlike the other antagonists, Teddy doesn't go straight for the punch, but applies what we call realistic bullying on his victims. But Gray has a strategy. See, the only thing that Teddy enjoys more than torturing others is to have the drip. So Gray takes his Gucci bag and makes it even drippier, I'd say soaking wet. And tells him that his Jordans are fake before beating the shit out of him. This is by far one of the most brutal beatdowns of the series, and it's not because of the violence, but because of the sheer humiliation that comes from it. I mean, even I don't end up in this state after a Friday night, and I already ended up waking up in the trunk of a car. Now let's play a game of Among Us. I'll let you spot the imposter. If you said it was Jimmy Bay, you are dead wrong, because he now owns this place and is going to kick out every other crewmate. That's right, Jimmy Boy decided to leave Ohio to take care of Ben Park himself, and he wants to get paid for it because if you're good at something, you might as well. But Ben Park isn't there, as he is enjoying a feast that his mother made. His mother we never see. I really hope that he isn't feasting on her remains. So, Alex takes a beating instead. Also, if you were wondering where was Gerard in the midst of all of that, he was simply chilling on some tables thinking about the meaning of life.
There's more soup! What do you mean there's more soup? There's just more soup! Go into the next aisle! There's still soup! Where are you right now? I'm at soup! What do you mean you're at soup? I mean I'm at soup! What store are you in? I'm at the soup store! Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Fuck you!
After some time, Philip Kidd arranges another ambush with Jimmy Bay to get the Eugene boys, leading to the climax of the arc. This is a cool fight that highlights the strengths of each of our protagonists, as they are outnumbered. Gray doesn't follow any rules as he treats his opponent like little garbage. On a side note, this guy won't be sitting right for the next few months. Gerard has legs longer than my student Depp.
That's quite big.
And Alex is a better boxer than Logan Paul, I guess. And Eugene is here, which is already pretty good for his character. But the main course is obviously Ben vs Jimmy. Now the fight isn't visually stunning, especially compared to some of the other fights of the arc, but it's still pretty intense nonetheless. You see, living in Ohio meant that Jimmy Bay was constantly in street fights, which helped him hone his survival skills, while Ben has been living the good life. While in the first part of the fight Jimmy has the upper hand, he has forgotten something. Big Ben hits harder than an Elden Ring boss. And trust me, you don't beat an Elden Ring boss on your second attempt. So turns out this was probably phase 1 of a boss, so prepare yourself for phase 2. Now remember when Rocky told you,
but it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. So that was a fucking lie.
and so the story would end, if it wasn't for the clown being a total snitch and going to Ronald McDonald North to report on what happened at Yujing. And so the conversation goes a bit like this. Clown be like, and Donald be like,
hey champ, that's really interesting. Next time, keep it to yourself.
but just in case, I will send Forrest Lee there.
Here comes the boy.